Welcome to Seku.
Thank you. I'm home.
Yes. What should people expect from you in Kumasi?
I'm here for the youth.
Okay.
I'm here to share with the youth. They think rich men are corrupt. There's a lot of anger on social media. They'll tell you, how can you be a messenger and build an empire? Right? How can you be selling kerosene? I was one time selling Bofrot and kerosene on the street of La. You know, it sounds.
They come use school and my day. This month's being my performance. Maybe.
Oh, but me try be you.
No, don't do. Sir. Hey!
You mean to this time?
Oh, the camera is very successful.
Very, very, very beautiful tree. Love the garden.
I had it.
My big man.
Yeah, man.
Yes, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to Seku.
Thank you. I'm home.
Yes. What should people expect from you in Kumasi?
I'm here for the youth.
Okay.
I'm here to share with the youth. You know, this is what I've been doing all this while. It's all about the mindset of the youth of this country. We have to grow together and change their mindset. We really have to be able to let them also be very successful. So it's a journey we walk together. So I'm really going to walk in that journey with the youth. For the next 3 days, it's going to be a power pack.
So you're going to be in Kumasi for the next 3 days?
For the next 3 days, yeah. We'll be at KNUST. We'll be at the Tech Amstec, and also we'll be at the Kumasi Technical University. And we also spend some time with the Muslims. We'll go to the Zongo. You know, the Zongo is also my home. So we'll spend some time with them and have some chat, and also have a football tournament with the Zongo.
Sir,
Thank you very much.
you said about the youth. You are for the youth.
Yes.
Of late, the youth are on drugs.
Yeah.
As a good leader, what are you doing about it?
Well, that is why we are here. That is why we are doing what we have to do.
Especially the red.
Yes. We'll try to take them out of it.
Sure.
We will do what we can.
Sure.
I mean, so that they follow in our footsteps.
Thank you.
I'm out budget.
Thank you.
It's on 23 minutes past 8 o'clock from the Streets of Love 1995. Once again, welcome you to our main conversation for today. Now, my guest has already, arrived. He's right here with us. Dr. Daniel Macaulay is a renowned entrepreneur, founder, and group chair, CEO of McDan Group of Companies. He's right here with us in the Streets of Love 1995. Now, as the founder and CEO of the McDan Group of Companies, Dr. Macaulay has built a business empire that spans multiple industries, including shipping, logistics, real estate, oil and gas, even into salt and many others. What sets him apart is his, inspiring personal story of overcoming obstacles and staying focused on his goals. In today's conversation, he will be exploring, the importance of having the right attitude in achieving business success. He will share his personal experiences, lessons learned, and of course, strategies for cultivating a winning mindset. So whether you are an aspiring entrepreneur, a business owner, or maybe simply looking for inspiration to achieve your goals, this discussion is for you. Doc, good morning and welcome.
Yes, sir.
I remember not too long ago in the same studios, we had a beautiful conversation, and a couple of days after, we had people calling me to say that they were blessed by your insights and the things that you shared with us all on radio. So on their behalf, I'd like to say a big thank you for being an inspiration, for being a mentor, and of course for being there for many of us. I'm impressed, especially aside from all the things that you've done and talked for yourself. I'm also impressed with the philanthropist nature of yourself, where you give out to society. Many people make it and they just share it with their family, and maybe a few friends in that clique. Welcome to Osei Group, and if you don't mind, what brings you to town?
Thank you. But before I say anything, I would like to share the pain of the KJTR market.
Yeah.
The fire.
In fact, this happened in a Dune. Bedroom near the PZ area.
I watch the videos and it's quite pathetic. And my heart goes out for them. And I might pass by it before I leave here. I'll pay them a visit. And let me see what I can also do to support the needy there. Thank you very much. I'm here for you. I'm really here for the next 3 days. I'm here for you.
Yeah, I know you and I will have our own banter and our own conversations, but the people of Kumasi have welcomed you, and they would also want to know what brings you to town, what you'll be doing the next
Economy and our daily lives.
For now. So you can send in your questions and he will address them for you. 0540-448-7447 is our WhatsApp number. You know the telephone lines already, but we'll be announcing them again. So you can call and engage with Dr. Daniel Macaulay. Maybe you can even tell him of a business idea you have, and maybe he would be able to say, I'm going to invest into that business. And I'm happy when he says exactly. So if you have some business thoughts and ideas, start putting your thoughts together very well. So call and tell him about the business you have and tell him that you want his help, and maybe you get our help. I'm saying maybe.
You're right. You're right.
So, no, 3 days, what will you be doing?
Well, we'll be at the Technical University.
KSTU. What's Technical University?
To celebrate their 70th anniversary with them, with the academia and also the youth, and also share some few thoughts with them. And see what partnership we can with them. And also, here in UST, as usual, the Youth Connect, share some few thoughts, interact with the youth, and also see what we can give them. At the same time, go to Amsterdam University and also share same with them. We'll be selecting some few students to join the McDan Entrepreneur Challenge to see if they can win $100,000 grand prize. But whoever gets the opportunity is still a winner, because we're going to build about 10 businesses from Kumasi.
What business are you looking forward to building? If you say 10, what businesses do you have in mind?
Well, being an entrepreneur is what makes you money. It's what makes you money, and the attitude of the person behind the business. That is what we look out for. It's not just doling out money, but we want to make a very strong impact. We want to make a change. We want to see the youth being very aggressive, and also make a change in their own environment.
There are people who might see some rich people and they're like, oh, why they don't give out and all that. I like what you said a while ago. You don't just give out the money because you have money to give, but the money should be put to very good use. And somebody who has good ideas, who will not waste the money, who will put the money to good use, is the person that you're looking for, or the persons you're looking for to help and assist. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
You've been doing this, Youth Connect for some time now. You've been doing this McDan challenge as well for a while now. How would you describe the youth who present themselves? How would you describe the people who come to listen to you, especially the youth? Would you say that they are imbibing what you're sharing with them? Are they rolling it out? How is it, impacting their lives and businesses?
Well, we have made a lot of impact. I give thanks to God, because Ghanaian youths are quite, I can say, respectful. But what they need is a bit of a drive. That is what the Ghanaian youth need. McDan have been embarking on this for the past 20 years. This is not the beginning, and this is not going to be the last. We have really supported a lot of youth. The difference is the mindset. It's not easy to do what we are doing, what the foundation is doing. Giving away your resources and giving away, especially the time. The time is very, very valuable than even the resources that we share. It's not easy, and you have to do it because we need a serious impact in this country. Doing this and seeing lives change gladdens my heart. We are here to do so.
So what's the dream? You're impacting lives, not just with the resources you have, by your time as well. What's your dream? What do you want to achieve at the end of the day?
At the end of the day, when McDan is mentioned, it's not how much money McDan had made, but how many people he had impacted. That is the dream. I want to see the youth of Kumasi bigger than myself. I have not even reached half of my real potential, but I want to bring a lot of young people, both men and women, along with me. As I keep saying, when I'm a billionaire, I want to see more billionaires around me. That's the ecosystem of prosperity, and we have to look towards that goal. And Ghana is a good place, and I believe that we have to share. And the best thing to share is our ideas, our mentality, the way we think, the way we go around things, the way we use feelings, the way we understand what is around us, that we can make a meaningful use of what we have.
And if you're listening to us, you're listening to Dr. Daniel Macaulay. He's the CEO of the McDan Group of Companies, and he says he's a billionaire. And he wants to also have millionaires and billionaires around him. He believes in the youth of Ghana. He believes that the youth of Ghana have the potential. All that we need is a little push and would also become millionaires and billionaires. There are many out there who would have made it, and all they will look out for is for people to kowtow to them and say yes, I'm master and all that. He doesn't want that. He wants people to be like him. And that's why he's in town. He's going to be in town for 3 days. So, Madam, this gentleman to my right, his name is Leo Stanley. And aside broadcasting, he's also ventured into a bit of a business. And the business name is Baker Built. They are into interior works and stuff like that. His challenge is that some of the youth of this country are lazy. You give them work to do, and they will laze about. And some of them are also with the mindset of making money without earning it. So he will say to you, for example, somebody says, now within 2 years, when you're 100,000 Ghana cedis, but the business owner did not make 100,000 maybe Ghana cedis within a year. In that light, how do you see the Ghanaian in terms of our attitude to work and our attitude to make it?
This is a very tough and very important question, and you have to look at it from different angles. Is it laziness? No. Is it attitude? Yes. What do you want as a young man and a young woman? How do you want your tomorrow to be? How do you see your tomorrow? Whatever, you don't reap where you haven't sown. My only problem now is the youth of today want to be rich as at yesterday. That is my only problem.
Is that wrong?
It's not wrong to have that mentality, but there is no wealth without history. Anybody who say he's rich, there must be a history. Wealth doesn't come in a day. There's a level of consistency you have to keep. You have to be in something. Mention any rich man in this world, and he has a story, he has a history, but he cannot be tomorrow rich as tomorrow. So Stanley, I believe he's in the right path. He should focus on what he's doing. The youth that want to tag along with him, you will get very upset because there's a lot of poverty out there. There's a lot of poverty out there. There's a lot of anger out there. There's a lot of feelings out there. So one of the sessions we are having now is to how to get a youth out of that kind of anger and frustration and channel that energy into their own life to make them meaningful citizens in the society. Whatever you touch and have the right attitude towards it, you will make it. Unless your attitude is wrong. I always say, and I will say it again here, that to be prosperous or to be prosperous, your 70% comes from your attitude. So Stanley, it's not that maybe they're sleeping, but it's an attitude issue.
Okay, so when you talk about attitude, what are you referring to here? What is a bad attitude? What is a good attitude?
Well, I believe that we have an innate spirit which tells us when we're doing something wrong, we should know we're doing wrong. Why would I want to sleep from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m.? Why would I want to sleep too long? If I know I have to study, why would I have to go and spend time with unnecessary friends that I don't need in my tomorrow? Why would I know how to get up and get to the marketplace at 4 a.m. before anybody gets there? You have to be first in whatever you do. These are the attitude that I'm talking about. And in your quest in doing that, there's something you have to keep within you, what we call the humility aspect. You have to be humble if you want to go far. You have to be very, very humble, because going far, you have to run fast, and you run alone.
You have to run fast.
And run alone.
And run alone.
Everybody who run fast run alone. You don't run fast and run with people. They will pull you back.
You talk about time. Why somebody will sleep around 8 and wake up at 6 in the morning? And one thing that surprises me is most of the time we chat on WhatsApp before we engage on the phone line. This is by call. I don't know when you sleep and when you wake up, because I can text you at 12, you respond. 1 a.m. you respond. 2 a.m. Even this morning, as at 3 a.m. we were chatting.
Yes.
What time do you sleep then?
Well, when poverty had hit you before, the bed can become your enemy. The poverty mentality is serious, and for me, it's a lesson. I can't sleep more than 4 hours
In a day.
in a day.
And within a day, you don't take any naps.
No, I get sick when I take them. It had become part of me, but I believe as I grow older and my money begin to work for me, I will be able to sleep more.
Is the money not working for you now?
I believe partly it's working for me, but I need to do more.
Listeners, you're hearing the voice of Dr. Daniel Macaulay, and he's the CEO of the McDan group of companies. He's an entrepreneur, he's into so many things. He says out of the 24 hours a day, he sleeps for only 4 hours. He says if you've been hit by poverty before, the bed is your enemy. Is your bed your enemy or your friend? Because if your bed is your friend, then you'll be sleeping for 14 hours and 12 hours and all that. What we're trying to do this morning is to try and make millionaires as well. He's a billionaire. And he says he wants to see the youth of today become millionaires. Are you an entrepreneur? Do you have any business idea? Why don't you share those ideas with him this morning? I'm sure that one, two or three of you, he will give some contact to and say, okay, so I like your idea. Call this individual and then engage with this individual and see what we can do for you. I mean, he has this foundation and he does a lot of things, like for example the McDan Foundation, and he's supported and assisted people with brilliant ideas. All right, we're talking about the foundation and the works they have been doing shortly. But if you join us on Facebook on Love in the Morning, we'll show you a lot of things that he's into, a lot of things that he's done, a lot of things he's doing. There's one that I saw this morning at dawn where he was giving out some items to the widows in Accra, and he did some, health screening as well for them. It was beautiful. I mean, for over 7,000 widows. It was amazing. Listen, if you join us on our Facebook page right now, Love in the Morning, you get to appreciate what the McDan Foundation is doing. But Doc, I asked you a question about what Lou said, getting the right people to work with. And in preparing for the show, I put down this question, and there's this. I mean, how does one arrive at a positive company culture, and what values should one prioritize when building a team? And if you have the right team in place, your business will thrive. So how do you build that culture? How do you put a team together and ensure that even you're not there, they would work like you are there, monitoring and observing?
In my business journey, the difficult part is not funding or finance. It is the human resource that you bring on board. So I adopted this philosophy in coming up with my business. You get what you expect. You don't get what you expect. And being the right leader, to have the right team, the leadership must be right. You have to respect people's opinion. You cannot be a dictator to build a team. At the same time, you have to be very strict, and you have to work with integrity. If you don't have integrity as a leader, your team collapses, because whatever you do, they watch you. The business culture must be sitting on a foundation called integrity. The right leadership. I mean, you have to fire and hire, or hire and fire, as a good leader. You don't come around the circles of McDan group and lazy about. Pay is good. If you think pay is not good, the door is your front. You have to care for people as a right leader. You care about your team, their welfare. You don't just watch them just coming and going. At times have a tea with them. At times pull them by the corner and just have a chat with them about their private problems. That means you build the right team. To build a team is not easy. And the same attitude I'm talking about, you need to put up the right leadership techniques to make sure you have the right team.
I don't know whether I'm permitted to ask the next question. It has to do with your son.
Yeah.
And it has to do with what I know you do with him. Because that program that I was with you there came yesterday. I think it was in December. And my boss, your name again, I've forgotten the name, forgive me.
Prophet Prakash Pine.
Yeah, Prophet Prakash Pine, yeah? He was there. And you were telling your son was amongst the crowd. And you grabbed the microphone and you spoke to him directly, although there was a crowd there. And then you've invested in his business, I think his farming business.
Yes.
And then you wanted him to give you an account as to how the business was doing,
Yeah.
because he has to pay back the money.
Yeah.
And you don't expect the business to collapse. And I was like, but this is your son.
Yeah.
I want to do the business. We learn from our mistakes. You can fail and then bounce back. But that's your son, and you were stern and hard.
Yeah.
So imagine how you then relate to your team you work with. Why that approach with even your son?
You know, in our quest to make our children better, we rather destroy them. They had to, it's not wickedness, but he had to know that there's no free lunch. I mean, you keep giving your children free lunch and they're lazy about it. And I don't have a son, I have sons. If he doesn't put up his weight, his blessing will go to the other, not blessing, the opportunity that I'm giving him will go to his younger and younger and younger and younger brothers.
Is that to say that you stop giving him help? Because help can come from various forms.
The best help I can give him is to educate him and give him a very strong mentality to be able to make it. I cannot give him fish. I have to teach him how to fish.
The statement I made yesterday to all of them, I said to them, stop asking for fish.
Yeah.
Ask to be taught to fish. Know how to fish.
Exactly.
Usually, did you now understand what I meant by that? Now you're smiling. Don't ask for fish.
Yeah.
Learn how to fish and fish yourself.
Fish yourself. So that's what I'm teaching my son. And that is the world around me. That is the world around the brand. You don't get close to the brand McDan and live the same.
But I would also say that in as much as it's a good move, you're challenging him, you're pushing him. There's competition everywhere. So tell us, what strategies can be used to stay ahead of the competition, and how do we even identify new business opportunities to delve into? Now I'm asking this because you have invested in his business, farming. There's competition around. How does he manage around? And go beyond the competition, float ahead of the competition and all that. How does he also look for other alternatives? Because anything can happen. And then he says, okay, the alternative that I can also venture into.
Well, that is the problem that we have in today's market. It has to be innovative. Innovation should be his number one goal. He has 250 cashew farm, 250 acre cashew farm. He cannot continue to be farming cashew. He have to go ahead to processing cashew. He can do it in so many ways. He can go out of the cashew. He has to go into a partnership with others so that he stay up of the game. And where your competitors are, be ahead of them. Immediately he moved from just producing cashew to cashew processing. He's ahead of the competition. When processing of cashew is becoming harder, he moved one step ahead. It's something else. I mean, you have to. I started with logistics. Now I'm into mining. I can't stay there. I started with one small corner office somewhere with one truck. I grew to have about 200 trucks. Now I have vessels. Right. Meanwhile, this is the territory the foreigners operate. I have aircraft. I started by moving into warehouses to move cargo. Now I am moving the cargo into the warehouses. So this is how our mentality needs to form in our own.
And dovetails into our conversation, the right attitudes
Exactly.
and the mindset, the mentality that we have
Exactly.
is what is key.
Exactly.
Key.
But you need to know how to think global and act local.
Think global and act local. Explain that a bit more.
Well, the world is changing so fast, and competition is right at our door. You really have to think global. In the internet had brought us closer to the world.
Daniel, when we go onto the internet, we are doing all kinds of silly, crazy stuff. Other fighting, going naked, insulting, and all the crazy stuff. How can we make use of the internet if we really want to make it? If we want to do it better,
The internet is a very strong tool. The internet can make it run in AI. Just put anything there. They produce a product today in China. You can get it in Ghana tomorrow. Is that how we want to use the internet, or go and make it ourselves? This is why the McDan brand is here to get closer to the youth, and also let them understand that the world is at your hand for the picking. And if you want to grow rich, you want to grow prosperous, you want to have the right attitude, McDan is right here to spend time with you to let that happen.
Okay, so yeah, you indulge me. Indulge me.
Okay.
What I want to say is this: to our listeners out there, Dr. Daniel McCollum is our guest, and he's here. Now we hardly have him. I mean, although he's in Ghana, he's in other places, and he's always busy. But once he's here today, let's take advantage of the opportunity and engage. So no matter who you are, whatever business you're into, if you're having challenges and you want the right business advice, this is your show. You want to start, you have a dream, you have, over the years postponed it, you have dilly-dallied with it, you have not started. This is an opportunity to talk to him so you can start. And let me say it was a bit of an ambush though, but I know who he is and what he's capable of. This very morning, if you have any business idea, let's say if you've already started a business, you want some kind of investment, some injection in there. If you speak to him and he's touched and he thinks there's potential, you need to be helped, he will help you this morning. If you want to start afresh and you pitch with him this morning, he thinks that there's potential, he needs to help, he will help you this morning. He wants to see many more millionaires and billionaires like himself. All right? So you know the numbers, we'll be activating them in a bit. But look, if you don't mind, I just want to ask a follow-up question and then I come to you. Thank you very much. So I was talking about competition and I was talking about looking around as well. But one thing I've also realized with some of the youth of this country, Ghana, is that when they start business and they see that there are prospects, they are doing fine, the business is growing, then they start opening branches. And let me say, for example, that when it comes to KFC is all over. Here in Kumasi, there are several branches of KFC. What people fail to realize is the fact that they are franchising. But in some situations and instances that I know, the people are not necessarily doing the franchise bit, but they themselves are spreading their wings and their tentacles, hiring premises and opening branches. And ask myself, is that the right approach to just start expanding and opening branches or as a business person or an entrepreneur, you need to watch a few things, the space, before you start expansion. How do you respond to that?
Rule number 3 in business, in my business world, don't touch what you can manage.
Don't touch what you can manage. Okay.
Never try to go into any business that you cannot manage. That brings you to my second principle of business, which is you get what you expect, not what you expect. There are a lot of wastages if you are not there. This will sound maybe philosophical, but that is the practical aspect of business. Immediately you touch what you cannot manage, you are in trouble. I have a lot of experiences in expanding. I've built businesses and those businesses have collapsed. And I have now learned, whatever I say is practical. I've invested serious money in certain businesses that the business proposal looked good, but the human elements in there, the personality, and one other problem we have in these countries, immediately we start business, we put ourselves in front of our business. Immediately you put yourself in front of your business, there's a danger.
What do you mean by putting yourself in front of your business?
McDan ran for over 15 years. Nobody knew who was the owner of McDan. You see billboards, you see adverts, you see trucks, you see McDan everywhere. But everybody thought McDan was for a white man. Till I started this till I started to show my face to support the youth. That is what brought my identity out. You cannot go and buy Mercedes-Benz and be showing yourself off whilst you don't sit in the office to make sure that the business run for you. So a young man coming, immediately he start business, you see him all over the place. His face is the advert.
They put it on the billboard.
That's a big danger. So one of the things I'm teaching young men that let your business run ahead of you.
Look, your question.
Yes, my question comes back to the youth. Apart from having people like you who try to, open the minds of young entrepreneurs, do you think our system, the way that we are brought up, also contributes to the way that we view, businessmen and entrepreneurship? Because the reason I'm asking this is, I remember the last time you told us that you started by, selling grain from the north.
Yeah.
But today, if you go and stand somewhere and said, my dad used to sell beans, we made you at them. I said, how? Somebody says, oh, I used to wash place, now I'm a billionaire, and it's like, again, I'll catch me. How do we kind of, orient the young people's minds to make them know that even though you started from there, you can still end there?
Well, that is a very important question, because if you go on social media, people don't tend to believe a rich man anymore. They think rich men are corrupt. There's a lot of anger on social media. They'll tell you, how can you be a messenger and build an empire? Right? How can you be selling kerosene? I was one time selling Bofrot and kerosene on the street of love. It sounds, but it's still happening. People are moving from one stage to another stage. It doesn't mean my son was a security guard. Not that he wants to be, but it's just I want him to experience the security guard. So when he becomes the group chairman of his company or my company, when the security man is complaining, he will feel the security man. We are so much separated with the reality. So all we have to do to let the youth know that it is actually possible. But start small. What you have to do is take one day at a time. What's your attitude? So it is sad if you go on social media to see what is happening on social media. There's no respect. You see the youth insulting the elderly, and it is not right because they are upset and they are angry. Before, even if you see a car, you are careful to even approach the car. Now the street children, they even come and knock at your window and they demand. Well, there's an underlying factor here. We cannot forget them. Right? In my small way, that is what I am doing. Taking street children, employing people, changing their mentality. The little that I can't do all. But in my small way, let me change those I can change and help those I can help.
Okay, we'll be activating the phone lines in the next 3 minutes or so because we have to be wrapping up. I'm told that you have to be on insurance. How good is your tree? Why are you tree agent? So tell me, what are some of the most significant lessons, that you've learned throughout your business career, and how have you applied those lessons in your life?
Some of the life lessons are failure. Never be afraid to fail. Immediately you are afraid to fail, you have a problem with your business. It doesn't mean you should be careless. The other one is be humble in your success. Never carry your success as your billboard and flashing it in the presence of everybody. You also have to take the people around you very seriously. It's not your success.
People were created rich and industrious before they were born. So when they are born, the least thing that they touch, it becomes boom up, and many people benefit from them. That is how they were created. Look, in the 80s, when this polythene bags and the rest came, in Kumasi, we were only 4 people who were into those business. 3 of them became rich, but I continue to be poor and poor and poor. No matter if I go and buy the rolls and after production, you realize I'm at a loss. It got to a point that those that they consulted me. Those that consulted me for their business became rich and they were building houses. And it got to a point that I had to be hired by one of them. Look at this. So I realized that if God creates you rich man and industrious, so be it. You will become rich and industrious. If you are like I am, no matter what you do, no matter what advice, listen,
we are laughing, but your words is tickling everybody in the studios. But I'm sure McDan will have a response to you as well. Thanks very much, Kofi. Our final caller is in David. Hi, David. Good morning.
Good morning, Sakura. Hi.
I'm still talking about Ghana.
Yeah, I know. Just for this one there. But there's a Ghanaian in the studio. And I'm really impressed.
You know.
Yeah, he said 2 things that really moved me. And I'm really impressed and happy. You know Warren Buffett?
Yeah.
Yes. One of his quotes, he said, look for 3 things in a person: intelligence, energy, and integrity. If he does not have the last one, forget about him. And I'm happy McDan is doing that. He said he's building his team and the entire group of companies on integrity. Then secondly, he said, you don't come to McDan and return safe. Dave, ask him if I can be his executive assistant.
His executive assistant, but you have had a question, Doc. Your response?
David, if I can only pay you.
Person I would want to work with. Anyway, good morning.
Well, good morning and thanks very much for joining us as well. So, Mansoor talked about the fact that he's into business. Sometimes a business is failing, he doesn't even know why. So, from your experience, how can he identify what's creating the problem?
Mansoor should identify who he is. In this world, we have three types of people. We have the first set of people who have all the ideas, but they don't know how to move. We have the second type of people who don't have any idea, but if you give them your idea, they'll run with it for you. We have the third type of people who will sit, think, have their own idea, and move with the idea. You should know who you are. So Mansoor can have the idea, but he needs to have people who can move with his idea. God never created anybody to be poor. God never created anybody.
And that's a response to you, Kofi.
God never created anybody to be who you are. All will depend on how you move. So my advice to Kofi is don't sit down. Get help. Not help by financial help, but get help with advice